right, hi everybody, and welcome to the Ruth and Ty show. I'm Ruth, and
I'm Ty.
and we're here we're gonna, our goal basically is to share our conversations with you because we've known each other for over 20 years, and we had some fantastic conversations, and we just kind of want to share them with you. This is my best friend. We met in the Army. We've known each other, like I said, a long time, so we just want to kind of talk about relationships because Lord knows each of us has been through a few of those. So, anyway, Ty, what would you like to say?
Well, I'm Ty. Ruth is also my best friend. We get along great. We have a lot of good conversations. I'm an animal communicator. I'm also a healer, and so we'll bring in some of those things as we go along on these little video chats with you. And so, as Ruth said, we're going to talk about relationships today. So,
absolutely. And I refer to her as my bro, so if I do that, you know that means my sibling. She's like my brother, sister, soulmate, kind of family-ish. Anyway, this is totally unplanned and raw, so, just kind of go with it, okay? Because we are. One of the main themes of everything that we're going to be talking about is to be yourself. Always to be yourself. And so we're definitely our raw, uncensored selves. So there
you're
you
going
go.
to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
All right.
So,
let's see. I think the other day we were talking about. Let's start with the faucet drips, because one of the things I love about our conversations is that one of us comes up with a metaphor for something that's hard to deal with in personal relationships. And you were talking. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I was saying that sometimes in relationships, you feel like one or the other person is trying so hard to get what they need in the relationship, and sometimes it can be like trying to get water from a dripping faucet, and you just stand there and you wait for the next drip, and you capture it, and then you cherish it because it relinquishes your thirst or whatever. But it's like a relationship where you're waiting for someone to hold your hand, or to tell you that they love you, or to give you some encouragement, or to give you the things that you need in the relationship. And what we should have in a relationship is just a faucet all the way on, just high power and just constant. And I'm not saying that the other person in the relationship or yourself should be constantly on and full of positive and all of that, but it should be available, and it should be something where you feel that you're receiving the love or the compliments or the encouragement or whatever it is that you need, rather than just standing there waiting and not knowing when the next drip will come, not knowing if you'll catch it, not knowing, if it's just going to quit altogether. So relationships can be like that, and it's hard because when you're waiting for that, it's almost like you can't do anything else because you're so focused on waiting for the next drip that you get tied up in that.
Yeah.
So it's hard, and it's easier to have even a slightly flowing faucet than a drip. So
I know I have this sort of mental picture of myself sort of hanging with my mouth open under a faucet, just waiting for the next drop of water, that next affection, that next show of love.
Right.
And it's I've done that so much in my life, and and like you said, I mean, you can't expect somebody to constantly be your every need and be on all the time and love you constantly and be there for you all the time, because that's not realistic. I mean, of course, we'd all like that, but
that would be nice.
That's not the way it works. But it's like it's sort of sad because I've had relationships where I'm just so tense waiting for that next phone call, or thinking, should I call them, or are they thinking about me? Well, I mean, I should just say, should I call her, because all my relationships have been with women. So, should I call her? Is she thinking about me? Should I reach over and grab her hand? Would she like pull away? What's the deal? Or if she does pull away when I reach over and grab her hand, what does that mean? Does that mean that she doesn't care about me? Does it mean she doesn't love me?
Right.
So all these kinds of thought processes going on, and I read something on Facebook. It was a meme just the other day, and it said, it really stuck with me. It said, just because someone desires you doesn't mean that they value you.
Definitely, yeah.
And so, it's like, to what lengths do we go to, I don't know, what is it? Get sex? get affection?
That's part of it, yes. Hopefully that's not a dripping faucet.
Well, it can be.
It can be, yes.
We had those.
Yeah. But the thing in relationships, too, is that, sometimes your partner or yourself will be in that position. You will be a dripping faucet because you're tired, because you're in a place of growth, you're in a place of pain, and that's okay. It's not a bad thing to be in that space.
Yeah.
But it can't be the entire relationship, a continuous, constant thing that it's just a drip of affection or a drip of love or show of affection, I guess, all the time. It just can't be that way. And one of the things that I guess you and I are going to try to hash out and talk about, and I don't know if we have any answers or not, but one of the things we'll talk about is, what to look for in a relationship and how to find, something that's not a drip. I guess.
I got to cut in here and say that we are so not experts at relationships. Yeah. In fact, we've had plenty, but we don't even know what the hell a successful relationship looks like. So we're just sharing our experience, and take what you want, leave the rest.
And I think the important thing is to realize that, if you are on a spiritual journey, if you are constantly trying to improve yourself, if you're trying to maintain a positive attitude and set intentions daily and be the best person that you can be in the moment, that you also need to look at your relationships. It may not be the other person, and it won't always be the other person. A lot of times it's you, because they are a mirror of you. And the things that you're doing and the things that you're usually not doing or not doing, in the best way possible. I won't say right or wrong, but I'll say in the best way possible because they do mirror you. We've just recently figured out that our animals in the house mirror each of us. It's Ruth and I and 2 kids, and we have 4 animals inside, and they all mirror one of us.
Yeah.
And so it's just a learning process to take that and to see what can I improve on, what can I be better at, So.
Let's talk a little bit about that whole mirroring thing, because it took me a while to understand that, and the mirroring effect is I think really interesting. I personally, get my age, I'm 47, so I'm middle-aged, and I've been through quite a few relationships, and one of the things that has characterized many of my relationships is conflict. A lot of fighting, a lot of arguing, difficulty, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure none of you out there have ever had any strife in a relationship, but one of the things that I've learned about the mirroring effect is that basically, partners push your buttons, and they seem to know exactly where to press to get that, it's just that, you're like, oh, ouch, they press this button, and I don't know if they do it on purpose, but then it gets you all upset and all this kind of stuff. So what does that mean? What can we learn from that? Well, first of all, I noticed that whenever I notice a behavior in like a partner or something that I really, it irritates me, or it pisses me off, or it just sets my teeth on edge, or don't like it, a lot of times what that means is I don't like that behavior in me.
Right.
It's mirroring something about me that I don't like. And so what it means is that it forces me to look at myself and go, do I do that? Have I done that in the past? How can I learn from, because here I am getting all pissed off and upset about somebody else pushing my buttons. I'll give you an example. Like say my partner says something about something that I did in the past, and says, well, if you could have done it differently, or why didn't you do it differently? Why did you do what you did? Why didn't you do it differently? And I want to just jump in defense of myself and say, well, I did it because blah, 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 blah. Or I want to say, well, it's in the past. Why are you asking me that? I can't change what I did in the past, and why are we even going over this? And so I get mad. And yet, when I stop to think about, the mirror effect, I think, okay, why am I mad? why does that bother me so much? If it is truly in the past and I can't change it, then why do I get angry and defensive when she asks me about it? It's almost like, can't you do something different? Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't do anything different because it's the past, but what do I have to learn about that? So I try to look at myself and say, okay, can I do anything about it? No. Okay, so why does it bother me so much? Well, maybe because I haven't gotten over what I did in the past. Maybe because I still feel ashamed or regretful, or maybe because I still am angry with myself for some decisions I made in the past, So that's kind of an example of how the marrying works for me.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that is important, Ruth and I are both working with Byron Katie's book, Loving What Is, and we'll put that down somewhere on the screen so you can look that up. Highly recommend that, because if you're really trying to change yourself, and there's our dog who
she doesn't like to be left out of things.
Right, she's our security. So at any rate,
come on in,
come on,
the family. Come on. There you go.
Okay, so at any rate, hi baby.
All right, this is Cookie.
Here's the puppy.
This is Cookie. Say hi, Cookie.
Say hi, baby. Yes, tell him.
She does not like to be left out.
So anyway, all right, come right down here. There you
Come
go.
on, baby.
There you go.
That girl.
So Byron Katie's book, Loving What Is, basically, if you've never read the book or heard the book, we've both listened to it on audiobooks. But what she says is about doing the work, and she talks about judging your neighbor, write it down, ask 4 questions, and turn it around. And so Ruth and I, it's kind of funny. We'll be bitching at each other about something, and we'll ask each other, is that absolutely true? Which is one of the 4 questions that Byron Katie uses in basically getting to the heart of the problem. And I know one of the very easy examples is to say, oh, she hasn't texted me, or he hasn't texted me. They haven't texted me back. Why haven't they texted me back? Oh, they hate me. They're mad at me. And your mind goes 100 different directions and thinking all of these things about, why hasn't she texted me? Well, the turnaround part that Byron Katie uses is to say, okay, I'm upset because she hasn't texted me. But if you turn it around, I'm upset because I haven't texted her. And so you kind of catch yourself and say, wow,
I used that one the other day.
Right, exactly. And I think it's one that people frequently experience, oh, they haven't texted me back, or they haven't answered my text, And so, but that's one of the things you can look at is, why haven't I texted her? There's no rule that says, I was the last person to text, so now they have to text me. There are no texting rules like that,
There aren't? I thought there was.
No, there may be a manual, but we haven't seen it.
I haven't found
Maybe
it.
that's
If
the
anybody
problem with
knows
our
what-
relationships. We don't have the texting manual.
We don't have the manual. What the hell?
But anyway, if you turn it around, then you can see, well, I have a part in this as well. I can't be mad at her because she hasn't texted me back. I'm free to text her and ask if she's okay. Ask if she's having a bad day, if something's wrong, or just to say hi. Maybe don't even assume that something's wrong.
Yeah.
But Byron Katie is very good, and I think she would be very helpful if you have any issues whatsoever. Byron Katie will help. So
Of course.
We'll just put it that way,
None of you
because
have issues.
right. So, but I really like that book, and I think we need to put that at the bottom of the screen so that they can see that. And she also offers on her website the free Judge Your Neighbor worksheet, which kind of gives you the 4 questions and walks you through the process. But you really have to listen to or read the book to understand it. And I think it's a really good resource for people. So.
Okay, well, I think we'd better wrap up our first session. We want to keep these videos relatively short. We could go on for hours, trust us. So I just want to say again that we're just here to talk about real issues, real life. There will be themes of spirituality in here. We're both connected with spirit, and there's going to be academic stuff because I'm an academic. We're both highly educated anyway. So we're trying to combine all the things that we've experienced with all the kind of stuff that we have found that's helpful along the way, and just kind of try to share those with you to more or less success. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.